making a lot of noise at AT&T Stadium.
Anything that moves between these lines, got to get dealt with.
They hand it to Pollard. He comes running out the right side. Deep to the post to Lamb. At the 5 to the goal line.
Dallas Cowboys Game Night is presented by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys.
It was a setback in South Beach as the Dallas Cowboys fall 22-20 to the Miami Dolphins at Hard Rock Stadium in Week 16 of the NFL season. Unfortunately for the Cowboys, they do see their playoff positioning hopes take a slight hit, but for the most part, it was a chance to build confidence in a road matchup prior to the final 2 weeks of the regular season. Welcome into Cowboys Game Night. Alongside Newton, I'm Kyle Youmans. This was one of those games between two good teams where the Cowboys just didn't have a couple plays go their way. What were your thoughts on this one?
Oh, man, just a super game played. The way they stopped the run there, only 91 yards rushing. You know, that one turnover, a couple of bad penalties, it hurt us. And that's what it takes. When you're in a playoff atmosphere like that and you're on the road, you can't make those mistakes.
And there were mistakes early and there were some mistakes late from this Cowboys team, but ultimately it came down to the final couple possessions. Let's talk about Dak Prescott and the Cowboys looking for a rebound after last week's loss to Buffalo. Opening drive for Dallas all the way to the goal line, but not past the goal line. Hunter Lipke fumbles, recovered by Miami.
Oh, yes, right here, man. He had two earlier plays where he got first downs. He just got a security. It's just a tight situation for the young guy. Too bad.
Had a chance to score on the opening drive. Instead, it leads to a Miami field goal, this time from 57 yards out. This is not the only time we're going to see Sanders in this one. The Cowboys would have an answer, though. Next drive, Dak Prescott dropping back, looking to his left. He finds C.D. Lamb over the middle, and then it's Lamb that does the rest. 49 yards to the house, seventh straight game where C.D. Lamb has a touchdown.
I tell you what, he lined up in the slot, and we said he'll play that early, and boy, he made a play right here. Boom, he catches it, takes off, puts on the gas. He sees the angle up there, stop, and gets to the end zone.
Miami, though, would have an answer of their own right inside the 10 on the next drive. Decided to go for it on fourth down. However, Tua, looking for Cedric Wilson, does not get any feet down, does not have the possession. Dallas gets one back, and it stays 7-3. Next drive, though, that early offensive rhythm then turned to pressure. Dak rolls out. He's taken down. Dallas forced to punt. Miami then had the ball working late in the second quarter in the red zone. Tua throws it to his right. It's incomplete, again looking for Cedric Wilson, but instead of it being third down, Micah Parsons was called for roughing the passer. What did you think about this call?
He was frustrated, tired of the holding, and he just took 1 2-minute steps and used the elbow, and it made it, the way he jerked his head there, it looked worse than what it was.
No doubt about it. It was a quick play, but the penalty was thrown. And then next play, Dolphins working left. It was Raheem Mostert that found his way open on the goal line. The catch then turns into 6. Miami leads 13-7 at the break. Both teams would trade some field goals back and forth. 19-13 Dolphins early in the fourth. Miami with a chance to grow the lead, but it was Dorrance Armstrong that has the sack of Tua. They are forced to punt. Dallas gets the ball all the way down to the 4-yard line on their next possession. Fourth down, they throw it to Turpin. However, a holding penalty is called, and it gives a first down to the Dallas Cowboys. So what do with some extra fortune and a flag going their way? They turn it into a touchdown. Dak lofts it up back of the end zone for Brandon Cooks. This ties the game at 17. Brandon Aubrey's PAT gives Dallas the lead.
Yes, sir. Right here, boy, was a nice catch.
And it was with 3:27 left. It looked like at that point that might have been the MVP drive for Dak Prescott. The defense, all they needed was a stop. However, they wouldn't get one. Jeff Wilson Jr. has a first down. He keeps the clock rolling outside of that 2-minute warning. Miami rolls it all the way down to 2 seconds left, and then they set up Sanders again, this time off the right hash mark. 29-yard field goal attempt is good, and Miami takes this one out from underneath the Dallas Cowboys, 22-20, as we take a look at the final stats brought to you by Miller Lite. Miami held to just 91 yards on the ground, a vast difference from what Dallas allowed last week against Buffalo at 266. However, the score still goes against the Cowboys. Their second straight loss, first back-to-back losses in back-to-back weeks since Thanksgiving of 2021. So when we come back here on Cowboys Game Night, we're going to hear from Micah Parsons and what his reaction was following another frustrating loss for the Cowboys.
This segment is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Make every day game day with Dallas Cowboys scratch tickets from the Texas Lottery. Play today for your chance to win big.
Every week, the storyline continues to build for Micah Parsons as it seems like calls aren't going his way. Well, this week in Week 16 against the Dolphins, it felt like a call went against Micah Parsons. Here's what he had to say about the officials and about the frustration following the loss.
It's super tough. I just feel like we're good enough to get a stop, It's tough.
3rd and 2, obviously they're going to try to attack what they think is a weakness. What's your thoughts on that 3rd and 2 just before the kneel downs?
Honestly, are you saying our weakness is the run?
Well, that's what they assume based on what happened last week against Buffalo. So.
I wouldn't say they attacked the weakness. I feel like majority of the game we shut down the run, had a lot of TFLs, had a lot of success. So I wouldn't say the weakness, but if you're talking about situational football and game football and IQ, why wouldn't you run it on 3rd and 2 and you're already in field goal position? So, I wouldn't say that's the weakness at all. I think we stopped the run pretty well and did what we were supposed to do.
How do you think we did against Tua overall?
I thought we did good. I don't think we really gave up anything big. They scored one time, a lot of field goals. They coming into the game, I think everybody knew they were going to get some big plays, some big opportunities with the weapons they have, and I thought we did a great job containing them.
You mentioned the good things you guys did. 5 field goals. That you hold the #1 offense in the league too. Just can you quantify the frustration of not coming out with the win after that kind of performance?
Same thing with the Eagles, same thing now. It's a game of inches. Games are decided by 1 or 2 plays. That's the league win. It's hard to win. They won the turnover battle. I think as a defense, we take accountability because we pride ourselves in getting the ball back, and we didn't do a good enough job at that.
Can you pinpoint the road issues? You have one on the road, but of late, there's been some struggles with Buffalo today.
We fighting with our back against the wall. A lot of penalties. It's mind-blowing, the things that's getting called and the positions we get put in. The thing is, we just got to learn how to fight the adversity. I know a lot of it's BS, and we're like, this is football plays, but it's the world we live in. We got the star on the helmet.
You hit Tua on the back.
So there's some frustration about handling the officials, not getting certain calls. He had frustration in general because he felt like this defense played well enough to win the game. What were your thoughts on how the defense played?
They played well, except for that one call right there. They played super well because you have to stop the run, and they was able to put resources on the back end to try to stop these great receivers, and they slowed them down. Waddle left the game. So I'm telling you, just clean up a few things, Mike. You are a great player. You're going to have to just work through it, and things are starting to fall your way. I promise you. Just work through it. You said the right things. Just keep working.
And it's only the 4th time this year Tyreek Hill has been held underneath 100 yards and without a touchdown in a game. So Dallas did what they could to try and limit Tyreek Hill and what he brought to the table, but also you talk about what they've done defensively and the way that they've turned things around. Micah Parsons helped things out in that one. It just didn't fall their way because of a couple calls late. Only the one offensive touchdown for Miami in this one. When we come back, we talk about Dak Prescott. The Cowboys offense had some ups and downs. More Cowboys game night after this.
This segment was brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Make every day game day with Dallas Cowboys scratch tickets from the Texas Lottery. Play today for your chance to win big.
20 of 32 passing for 253 yards, a couple touchdowns, no interceptions for Dak Prescott. He had moments in this game where he looked like MV Prescott again. However, the Cowboys do fall 22-20 on the road to Miami. Here's what Dak had to say following the game.
Yeah, you just nailed it. Frustrating. Frustrating that the dead spot, I guess you can say, right there in the middle of the game for the offense. I mean, right after the first two drives, don't get anything going again, and then come back second half. Once again, a little dry there, and then finally get it back rolling, get some points on the board, a couple of field goals and a touchdown, take the lead, and Yeah, tough, but our defense did a hell of a job. This is completely on everybody, one that sucks, but definitely took a step, I guess you can say, from obviously last week's game, getting some points, playing a hell of a team here on the road, and we'll have to build off it. We'll have to use the good, make sure we get better from the things that weren't up to standard, but use the good and plan to go on the road.
Still feel feeds that narrative of you guys not being able to win on the road.
I mean, I guess it feeds it, right? We didn't come out with the win, but I can tell you the confidence is high from that group. Obviously, this one sucks. It hurts, especially as you just said in the manner that we did. That we lost this one, but the confidence is high in these guys. We understand that we can. Obviously, we haven't done it, but we will. And obviously, the road forward looks like we'll be going on the road. So, got one more in this regular season to dial it in and improve from this one, and get a win, and then carry that into the next part of the season.
Dak, talk after the season. Where does that confidence come from that you still have to believe, even if you guys haven't been able to win?
I mean, hell, we're this whole narrative changes off of, unfortunately, one play out there. I mean, the guy misses a field goal. We're in here talking about a completely different outlook. So let's not lose sight of that. I mean, that's the game of football. And a lot of times, you know, we flip the script off of one play in that sense. And these guys, we're not going to do that. It sucks. We hate to lose. Nobody's taking any moral victories from this. We will take some confidence, but we're not taking any moral victories. But my point is, if he misses that field goal or one earlier, we score earlier. You know what I mean? Like, and it's a different game. So we're going to be committed. I think to answer your question is this brotherhood, what we're committed to. We're committed to one another, holding each other accountable in our goal. And yeah, we just got to capitalize early, obviously on that first drive, and then defense will probably say that they need to get that stop, but they did a hell of a job. We got to find a way to put in more points as an offense, and we will.
So lots of lessons to be learned for this offense and for Dak Prescott. The numbers, of course, don't look too bad outside of maybe 4 of 12 on third down. You could see more efficiency there, but 340 nearly total yards. You had the one turnover, which was costly because it came at the goal line. Overall, this offense was great in the first quarter, great in the fourth quarter, but that lull in the middle that Dak's talking about, you need to see more consistency.
Definitely. Just get CeeDee Lamb a little bit more involved, and definitely get Tony Pollard a little bit more involved. Only 13 touches. This guy's more valuable than that. We got to use him a little bit more.
And it looks like the right mindset is there from the quarterback, from the offense, because there's still lessons to be learned. Let's hear what Mike McCarthy has to say when we come back. More Cowboys game night following the 22-20 loss to Miami. Cowboys at 10-5. Where does Coach Mike McCarthy go from here? Mike McCarthy's team has lost 5 games in each of the last 3 years. Now, where does this team go from here? 2 games left in the regular season, a chance to finish 12-5 for the 3rd straight year, and of course their NFC East hopes still alive. Here's head coach Mike McCarthy.
You know, the 2 backed-up series, like I've already stated, were poor. You know, we had some protection issues. You know, they had linebacker run through too many times, so it's part of playing, and you know, we had some change-ups in the. You know, in the line and in the hots and so forth. You know, it's we got to make those plays. You know, the protection part, particularly in those pressures that we saw. That you know, we had a couple that we did not. You know, we weren't where we needed to be. So
when you look at the
the athletic Mike, the last drive that when they're driving down, what's kind of the thought process? Is there any thought process of letting them score or trying to get the ball back to your offense? What is your process?
We talked about freeway. Would be the call there. Yeah, we discussed it. But I think you got to let the down and distance. You know, it was too far out, if I recall, on the 2nd and 3rd down, we felt. But yeah, we discussed it as an option.
John.
Jeff Shaw, the Athletic. Mike, it felt like the defense kept giving you guys a shot, keeping you guys in the game offensively. Did you kind of feel it that way? How did you think the defense
Frankly, this is how I view our team, because these are the games that I personally really enjoy, because I know you need to think you're ever going to win a championship. You need these games, especially on the road. To go win games on the road. There's great road wins are things that we all remember, throughout the years, and that's why, the urgency to come in here, we put a lot into the game, but it's definitely something we can grow from. But yeah, to me, to keep us in the game, to me, it's the definition of complementary football. I thought we battled back and forth. The defense stood up, and we came back, and the field position. I haven't seen the stats, but I assume we lost the field position battle. So the one giveaway was costly. I think that was a 17-play drive. So and like I said, those are probably 2 plays. Those are the difference in these playoff type games.
You knew.
So that's really the case that Mike McCarthy has here. Is these are playoff caliber games without the playoff caliber consequences. Back here with Nate Newton on Cowboys Game Night. Nate, when you look at this team, where do they need to go from here to have success in the final 2 weeks?
Just keep playing hard, get a little bit smarter. Don't have that 17 plays. Don't have that turnover. Then take away a few of those penalties, and this team can win on the road. They're starting to believe, and they're starting to understand what it really takes to be a road warrior.
And here's the thing about this loss. Because it was against an AFC team, the only thing it really affects is the strength of victory tiebreaker, which probably wasn't going to finish in favor of the Cowboys anyways, and that would take both Philly and Dallas winning out. So now that's out of the question. Dallas still needs Philly to lose to really have their best shot at winning the NFC East. So with this loss, there's not a whole lot that changes from a playoff picture. You still need Philly to lose one of their final 3 games, one against New York, another one against the Arizona, and then they conclude against New York in order for that playoff scenario to work in your favor. That's the only thing that changes, because if you win your final 2 games, Philly loses one more, the Cowboys will be the 2 seed in the NFC. But when we come back here on Cowboys Game Night, it's time to take a look ahead. They've got another tough matchup next week with the Detroit Lions, plus a special week for somebody that Nate Newton is very close to.
Dallas Cowboys Game Night was presented by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys.
The Cowboys fall to the Miami Dolphins 22-20 here on this Christmas Eve. Hope everybody has had a safe and happy holiday season and a Merry Christmas so far, even though the Cowboys did fall by 2. Back here with Nate Newton wrapping up Cowboys Game Night. Big week ahead for the Cowboys. They face the Detroit Lions, plus Jimmy Johnson getting inducted into the Ring of Honor. An exciting week for this team. Where do they turn things around if they were to win against an 11-4 Detroit team?
Physical, physical, physical. Run the ball, stop the run, make Coach Johnson proud. Hey, we come to see you, boy. Yes, sir.
See, that's the thing, is it would be a Jimmy Johnson-esque game, because Dan Campbell and this Detroit Lions team, fresh off of winning the NFC North for the first time since 1993, they're going to bring that physicality.
Yes, and that's all we need to do is to match it, because we had a better athletes, I think.
Do you think that there's enough there to turn it around and get a win at home?
Definitely, because if we do, and I don't ride the Philly train, but we love you, Philly. We need you to lose. Thank you.
Hey, there's a chance for that to happen. Hey, they play on Christmas Day, Christmas evening. So a chance for Philadelphia to lose to New York tomorrow. Maybe that happens. That would be a nice Christmas present for us all to open up tomorrow afternoon. But for this one, the Cowboys do fall 22-20. If you're interested on where we'll be for next week, we'll be at AT&T Stadium for Cowboys pregame live and Cowboys Game Night from AT&T Stadium. That way, Nate Newton can reunite with his old ball coach as he's inducted into the Ring of Honor. That does it for us. Yes, sir. Jimmy Johnson next week. That does it for us here on Cowboys Game Night.